Hi guys, it's Danny from Art by Marlene's promo team for 2020. Today I've got a trifold card that I'd like to show you using the Art by Marlene die blocks. So I've got a pre-folded card here and I'm just going over with my bone folder to making all my score lines nice and crisp. And I've chosen a few of the Art by Marlene papers, the collage papers from pad number 2 and 4. And I'm just measuring out my card front so that I can cut up the papers according to the size of the card front. So just trimming them up here with my paper trimmer, making sure that they fit, and then I'm going to use a grey lead and just mark out those centre panels. It's important to cut them out correctly so that the card keeps working, because it has little moving parts and is quite an active card. You need to make sure that everything's trimmed correctly. So again, just using a grey lead to mark out that centre rectangle, and I'm going to cut those out a little bit larger than what I've marked on the paper, just so that I've got a little white border around the actual paperwork. And I'm just using a glue stick to glue these down. I find glue stick helps me, if I glue it down in the wrong place, I can lift it up. I've got a little bit of time to move that paper around. So I like using glue sticks in these sorts of projects. And just making sure I'm getting all the glue right out to the edges. Again, the card's an active card, so we need to make sure the paper's glued down properly. I'm using the centerpieces that I cut out before with the scissors, and I'm just trimming those down so I've got that white border again, and then fitting them into the center panels. And then I'm using the excess paper from that sheet to do the center panel. So I've got 3 more little panels here to do. I was able to cover the complete card with 1 sheet of collage paper. And you can see here, I glued down this last page and it's actually upside down, but again, because I've used glue stick, I was able to lift it and turn it the right way around. So it's another reason why I like to use glue sticks with this sort of project. Now I'm just using some distress ink, and I'm distressing all those white borders. Just coordinates nicely with the card now. And again, I've lifted up a few of those corners when I was distressing, so I'm just going back over with some glue stick, making sure that they're stuck down nicely. So I've got Marlene's die box here. This is the die blocks 3 and 4, and I've got a bit of a mermaid underwater scene happening, so I'm just pulling out all of my elements that I want to use on the front of the card. Just going through the books and deciding which pieces that I want to use. Now I knew I was going to use this little mermaid, so I've glued her down directly onto the front of the card. She was quite easy. And then all the other elements, I'm going to lay them out, work out what the layout is, and then decide if I've got them in the right spot, and then I'll glue them down. You can see in the top right hand corner that I've got the cutting die, the circles, all pre-cut in some white cardstock, and I'm going to also use those on my card front. Just going to tear up little bits of that die and put them under the collage pieces. Just going to add a little bit of texture and a little bit more interest to the card front. So again, I'm just working out the layout here. And I'm just tearing up those little pieces of dies now, sticking them under my collaged elements. And now I'm just gluing everything down. So that's pretty much it. I'm just cutting off any excess pieces that are hanging over the card. And I'm using the bubbles now that's left out of that die page, and I'm going to stick them randomly all over the page as well, just to add a little bit more colour and a bit more pop to the front of the card. So again, just gluing those down with my glue stick. So you can see how easy it is to construct a card using the die blocks. So now I just need to apologise, I stopped recording and I've actually coloured all my die pieces. So I'm just showing you the extra detail here that I've done with the colours, just putting coloured pencil over the top. You can see how bright and vibrant they are. And I'm going to pull out one of the original die pieces out of the book. You get 2 pages or 2 designs, 2 pages per book of the same design is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to get the original die out and just show you in comparison. I mean, the dies are quite bright, but they're even brighter once you add a little bit of your own pencil work over the top. You can see in comparison with the seahorse tail here that it's a lot brighter once you put a little bit more pencil over the top. Her hair's got a little bit more highlights in them, and you can just see that the seahorse is nice and bright and just really pops when you've got a little bit more pencil over the top. It's not hard work, just a little bit more effort will really make your artwork look so much nicer. This was a trick that Marlene taught us when she came to Australia and taught some workshops, and I really loved the idea. So I've made a second card here, and I'm just showing you, these are all elements pulled out of the die blocks, and I'm just showing you what I do with the coloured pencils. So I'm using these fluoro pencils here. Again, they were introduced to us by Marlene at the workshops in Australia. They're actually Caran d'Ache pencils you can buy from most art shops. And I'm just going over each element just to highlight basically where Marlene's already put the highlights in. I'm just adding extra colour and just making her illustrations a little bit more decorative and a little bit more brighter than what they originally were when they were printed in the die box. Just adding a little bit more of your own uniqueness to her illustrations, or as Marlene likes to call it, your own Meraki. And it just really finishes off the designs, be it on your card or on your art journal pages. It's just an added extra to make your work look a little bit more stunning. And I'm just using a few paint pens here just to go back over the highlighted areas. So anywhere where I've used the coloured pencils and the white is not as bright and crisp, I'm going back over with some paint pens. And that's basically it. So using the die blocks makes a really easy card, as you can see. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, so that you can see more videos in the future. I'd really love to hear any comments that you have about this technique as well. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your day.